Welcome back, everybody. Luckily, you are just in time for What's Hot, where we talk about the stories that have us all talking.
We are joined by Tracy Johnson of Tempo Milwaukee, and Jeff Wagner is back. Our first topic today, many people who live near I-94 in Milwaukee are trying to stop the freeway expansion. They're using a new study as backup that claims traffic on 7 recently completed roads around Wisconsin hasn't developed as projected. The state is still considering a number of options, including rebuilding the freeway as is. What do you guys think about this?
Okay, look, we really only have one chance to get this right. And what's going on here is you've got, it's particularly the people who live off of like Story Parkway, which is one of the very, very Tony sections of Milwaukee. You've got some very, very politically connected people who are trying to fight this. Now, I don't mind taking an overall look at this, but the truth is, you know, if this area is going to grow, the reality is, you know, you're going to have increased traffic. And right now, the freeway, it's not built, I think, to deal with the future. We don't want to blow this one just because a couple rich people that live off of Story Parkway don't want to be disturbed.
Well, and really what we're looking at is this regional approach. I mean, we look at everything so regionally. We have more people going into, out of, and through the city of Milwaukee. We need to build the infrastructure in order for that economic development to take place. And wherever they do it, they need to do it. This study, though, when you look at where they actually looked, these are all rural roads. I just don't think it's applicable.
And this is the bottleneck right there. I mean, it's the route from the east to the west in the U.S., in our latitude here, and it comes down to a bottleneck right there.
And look, and they're talking about expanding it a couple lanes either way. I mean, look, if we're going to be spending all this money to do this, it just makes absolutely no sense to me not to do it right, which is saying, okay, if we anticipate that this area is going to grow moving forward, fine, let's build the infrastructure so we don't have to be having this argument 10 or 15 years down the line. That just makes sense. Don't waste the money.
Well, the other side of it is just deal with the traffic, right? I mean, as far as urban areas go, I mean, is our traffic really that bad? I think what you're talking about, what we're all talking about, is looking ahead and developing for the future.
Where's it going to be 15 years from now? Right.
All right, coming up next, a new ad is out aimed at helping to reduce the number of teen births. The campaign shows pregnant boys. We'll talk about why they made that move coming up.
Today. Well, now more of What's Hot.
Again, we are joined by Tracy Johnson and Jeff Wagner. Okay, retired Arizona firefighter Jesse Thornton was arrested for DWI because police thought he looked drunk. An officer told him he could tell he was driving drunk just by looking in his eyes. Thornton says his eyes could have been red because he'd been swimming earlier in the day. He took a sobriety test, confirmed his blood alcohol level was straight zeros.
How could he see his eyes if he was watching him drive by? I mean, I have a feeling that there was something else going on. Maybe the fact that he was swerving or something. I don't know. I don't understand this.
You know, because interestingly, see, in Wisconsin, there's actually 2 types of drunken driving. There's one driving with like a prohibited alcohol concentration over 0.08. There's also, you can still get nailed for drunk driving if you have less alcohol in your system, but you're still driving erratically. Now, this wasn't the case in either situation, and I'm with you, Tracy. I don't get what this entire thing is all about. But he's not going to end up getting charged at the end of the day. But it's a weird story, no question about it.
But it speaks to the fact that I would rather that the police pull someone over that they think might be driving drunk than if they didn't and find out that this person wasn't drunk at all.
Well, that's my free legal advice that I always give as a recovering lawyer here, is that, you know, it never pays to argue with the cops. You know, just what you do is take the ticket, do whatever, then you have all sorts of remedies after that. You get your lawyer, you complain, whatever. It's normally speaking, when you argue with the police, you escalate it, and then bad things happen. So free legal advice from a recovering lawyer here.
Okay.
All right. Well, our last topic, there's a new eye-catching ad campaign in Chicago. It shows pregnant boys in an effort to reduce teen pregnancy. The campaign launched last month and is intended to spark conversations among teens and parents, making the case that teen parenthood is more than just a girl's responsibility. What do you guys think about this one?
Well, I mean, technically, right, the man is 50% of the equation here. But I think this gets more people talking, like you and I, and of course, we all know about the issues. How do you have an impact on these young men? I just
do you think this works? Do you think this is an effective ad?
You know, I don't think the ads in and of themselves are effective. I think it's sizzle. Where's the steak? And we had this campaign in Milwaukee, it's my understanding, a few years ago, and we have been seeing declines in the teen pregnancy rate, but I think there are a lot of other components
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't disagree. I'm with you. I'm all in favor of efforts to try to, reduce the teenage pregnancy rate. I guess this is something maybe adults are talking about. I just seriously wonder, how many 16-year-old boys are going to look at that and say, okay, that means that, I'm not going to do everything I can to try to get, next to my girlfriend or something. I think that's targeted perhaps at the wrong audience. But, we're talking about it, so what the heck.
What, Tracy?
No. I was just going to say that in Milwaukee, I mean, it was part of an overall comprehensive campaign. I know the United Way is making this a huge focus, and so I think overall it is having an impact.
Images of pregnant teenage girls might be effective as well, because they're the ones that can stop it.
Steve,
they can shut it down.
This is what we're talking about here, though.
Well, no,
it's a boy's responsibility too.
If somebody says no here in this equation,
well,
I'm
just saying I think there might be more effective ways to try to get the message across to young men than necessarily this. But again, and anything that works, I'm all in favor of, because this is a huge problem across the country, no question about it.
Everybody just needs to own up here and be responsible, no matter what their age. All right, we'll take a quick break right now. We'll be right back.
Father's Day